graphs like this, the fourth one, it is almost like very difficult to disseminate that what it is actually trying to say. So it happens. So now how to eliminate these issues, right? If you follow some basic guidelines, then we can make our graphs better. We can communicate in a better way. So it is there is a 3-minute story. Who, what, how. So this is a 3-minute story. We need to answer. What we are looking for is that if we try to answer the answers to these questions, like who is the audience or the decision maker, what background information is relevant or essential, what biases does our audience have, what data is available, what are the risks, what would a successful outcome look like, how to convey the right message to the right audience. If we think in this line, then this storytelling, this communicating to the audience becomes much easier and better. And then the next step is you write the idea in a short note. If you had only 3 minutes to tell your audience what they need to know, what would you say? Sometimes the analysis, maybe a very simple analysis, can convey a very deep meaning, a deep message. It is not necessary that every time it has to be very complicated. So as Pascal said, I would have written a shorter letter, but I didn't have the time. So writing short, notes is sometimes more difficult than writing a lengthy. So, big idea. So, we are moving towards the idea stage. We have the data. Now we are moving to the idea stage. Then I will tell the story, right? So, what are the 3 components? First is it must articulate your unique point of view. It must be something different, not very traditional or it must convey what's at stake, right? Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, the stake is your health. It is a storytelling basically. So what government tried to say, that if you won't have toilets at your home, your family's health is at stake. Your health is at stake. It must be a complete sentence. It should convey a complete message, total message. Now what we did, actually we applied this, sorry, I will take just 2 minutes. Actually we applied this idea when we designed the certificate of data analytics course for ICWI and also at Shivnagar University. What we did, there were more than 100 registrations for that course. That was an online course. More than 100 registrations, and we designed it. It was technically very heavy. Python, R, all these things were there. And when we started, we thought that. But basically, the professional accountants, including me, we are not proficient coders. We use software, Excel primarily, but we are not proficient, right? We must agree with that. Now, what happened? So, initially when we started with coding and all, we are actually, not into computer world since birth. We are immigrants into this, digital world. Right? When we started our journey, there was no mobile, nothing, no computer even. Right? So, and a part of our audience was also like us. Like, so we thought that can we influence their perception? Right? Can we tell them, can we convey the message that it is only a tool, it is not about coding, it is not about software. The course is not about software. So, and when we start talking with people, we found that people have a lot of interest in certain areas, like for example, forecasting stock prices. People have a lot of interest in it. Financial modeling for valuation, how to value the stocks. Then construction of portfolio using optimization tools like Solver, for example. The participants, they were really interested about it. And we used this storytelling model there. What is the narrative? What is the context? What is the audience? What I want to convey to the audience, what they want to listen, and what they want to learn. In academics, we continuously do that. Whenever we launch a new course, we go through this practice. Along with that, another thing we add, that is what industry wants, right? Whether there is a need for this skill in the industry or not. Then we wrote a very, very short, brief note in 3 minutes. That is, the pilot learning program was successful at improving students' perception of data analytics course, and because of this success, we should continue to offer in going forward. And as I have already shown you that government of Andhra Pradesh has already made it a kind of desired requirement for the UI. Now, once it is been done, then we have to jot it down like a story form. It's called a storyboarding. That is, we write in small boxes, in small cubicles, we write what are the steps need to be taken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 steps we need to take. It is kind of, I can say, a screenplay of a movie. In a screenplay of a movie, the director sometimes scribbles the short notes. So it is something like that. And it is the single most important thing. Why? Because this data analysis, it is partly science, but there is a lot of arts involved in it. Lot of subjectivity. The same balance sheet, X can analyze in one way, Y can analyze in a different way. The perspective of X and Y may differ while looking at the balance sheet of the one single company. You know that can happen, right? So there's a lot of subjectivity involved. Their storyboard plays a major role. Now the question is that when all these things I have done in my, I have used my cognitive resources to think so much, then how I will represent? So here the softwares come as a boon, as a handy tool. So it is a long subject. I am just briefly trying to cover the common tools which are available. So first one is the scatter. Scatter is the simplest tool available for defining any data. Tables, it interacts with the verbal system. Why? Because the way we talk, it resembles the data is being presented in the table. If I say how many children you have, 1 boy, 1 girl, it's a table. So it resembles the way we speak. So that is why you see any report, the highest number of figures you will find in tabular form. In TPR or balance sheet, in any financial statement, they are in the tabular form because it resembles our verbal way of communication. Graphs, actually, it interacts with our visual system. It makes the process faster. A children understands the picture better than a table because it is natural to human being. Human being naturally understands a picture in a faster mode than numerical data or tables. So graphs are very useful. Lines are the heat maps are there. Heat maps are basically tables usual use. Line heat maps are very popular in stock market. If you see any brokerage's website, if you log in, every day they give a hot heat map of the stock prices. The stock prices which are going up in green and which are coming down in red. So it immediately gives an idea that what is up and what is down. Then line is very, very common and easy to draw. Bars are also there, but I talk to many data analysts, they don't like, there is a general common dislike about the bars, right? Because bars, first of all, it looks little cluttered and it conveys less. The space it occupies, compared to that, the message it conveys, right? It is not very, proportion is not very good. Pie chart, if everything is all including 100%, then pie chart we can use. Waterfall chart, etc. There are actually some variations of these basic charts. So we can decide, this is again a subjective issue, that which graphical tool I will use while preparing my report and conveying my report.
Excuse me, sir. I think we are running out of the time.
Yeah.
We are eating this time as well as eating time.
2 minutes, just 2 minutes. Then what is the right graph for my situation? First is completely below. One should avoid. It should not be too lengthy. There should not be clutter. And five basic rules which we follow. First is proximity, similarity, enclosure, continuity.